Right, Janta. So once again, welcome to our skill session number 8. It's a long, winding road that we are taking now, and don't worry. Officially, we end at 10, but that doesn't mean that we end our conversations, we end our discussions or meeting. It's become so fruitful, so beautiful. At some point, I'd love to introduce, amalgamate couple of clubs that I've been part of. When I say club, I'm talking about there's a book reading club that so beautifully. I think Kajal ma'am, we talk about Hital ma'am's initiative, so we can continuously meet each other, if not every week or perhaps a fortnightly or on a monthly basis. But the idea is learning do not stop. Today's session, as we always do, we juggle between our life skill, and last week was an amazing session by Akansha ma'am on creativity. I saw the drawings. We still frame your drawings, everybody, and put it on your in your walls and all. The amazing purples, clouds, and whatnot. It was really nice, and hopefully, I amazingly, what Akansha ma'am reminded me, last year, exactly the same date, she came and spoke to Golden Sparrow kids. And I told, block your date. It will be called a Golden Sparrow Day in your yearly calendar. Every year you have to come, Akansha ma'am. And all of you been so kind. Whenever we ask you to do a session, Mansoor sir did a session on exam phobia. Sir, wonderful session. I think the kids now are not even studying. The parents complain, कोई भी डर नहीं है. Sir ने सब डर हटा दिया. Sir ऐसा भी मत करो. थोड़ा पढ़ने दो उनको. This is so nice. Kajal ma'am has some amazing sessions on dining etiquettes. So now I want only to dine with her to see what all the food she puts on the table. So all of you, Pramila ma'am, you are a guru, you are a mentor, you are someone we look forward to hearing. You bring so much of solace and joy in this group, ma'am. So we wish you, good health. Keep climbing mountains, keep visiting Bhutan and Nepal and Sri Lanka and across. So today's shorter session, hopefully more interactive. This is a small message that Golden Goal, so United Nations put up. They've come up with the 18th goal. What do you think 18th goal is about? Anyone? I shared the poster in the group also. Yeah, go ahead, Pamela ma'am. Have you seen this? So they said not 17 United Nations goals. There's an 18 goal they created. It's what do you think this goal is about?
I think too many people are going into space and leaving their rubble behind.
Oh, very interesting. I like that idea. And anyone else? Usually I'll take two pointers. Go ahead. Use your chats. Anything. Mansoor sir, Awataf ma'am. Go ahead.
So can I just a guess?
Yes, please, Darshana ma'am.
So there are a lot of activities in space, right? And there is a lot of wastages being left over there. So something related to that?
Wonderful thought. Yes, so true. So close to the correct answer. So go ahead. Anyone else? Okay, sustainability in space now, absolutely. So we need to visit, and I love the way this is golden goals or global goals rather. We combined Golden Sparrow and United Nations. I love the way they put up. They put this message on 1st of April, and like many of us, everybody started commenting, and we loved it, and we shared it, and then they said, "Hello, everybody. There is only 17 goal, and we fooled you." Just the idea that United Nations can think on this line, it was amazing. They said, "No, we still are." And the way they wrote it was so beautiful. Global goals are no joking matter, but let us first do a 17 goals, then we'll think of increasing them. And it made us think. And the key word was it made us engage. We all, all of us who were following the thread, all of us who were talking on the Instagram and Twitter with United Nations, we smiled. We learn the power of engaging an audience. We learn the power of what we speak about, and this is where we talk about. While we'll not talk about goal number 18, but yes, we have got enough goals to deal with, and half of 18 is 9. So today we'll speak about a very different goal. Usually we don't go beyond, say, goal number 3, goal number 5. Yes, Interstellar movie. Yeah, there is a movie called Gravity by Sandra Bullock, Awataf ma'am. I'm a big space buff. So if all of us, anyone who grew up watching Star Trek, oh, Willie is here. Hello, Willie, how are you?
Perfectly fine. How are you? Thank you for
Fantastic.
setting this up.
Right. So, Pramila ma'am, officially, you're not the oldest person in the room. There is Willie here. Oh, very young, very dynamic, fantastic friend of mine. So, you must have grown up, watching Star Trek or today's Avengers, and it talks so much about space. but how much do we really know about space? This is why the theme that we spoken about, a goal that we don't really touch so much about, SDG goal number 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. And in that, we not only spoke about, you know, the idea is anything that is new. A Tesla car or an EV car, or now the green cars are obsolete. We talk about blue cars. And I was amazed when I spoke about an automobile industry. They speak about the concept of blue cars. We'll stick to space, while we'll not talk about intergalactic lessons, but we'll stick to simple lessons of space. Quickly, a quiz again coming your way. You know our sessions the way they go. What movie is this? Very popular movie. Please, come on. This
Give
is a
us,
movie that, yes,
give a clue.
ma'am. This is a movie we all must watch. You all have watched this movie. We love the movie about these college friends, and you know the movie now. There is a specific mention about a unique pen in the movie. Who are we talking about? What movie is this?
Three Idiots.
Oh yes, thank.
Three Idiots.
Absolutely. It is Three Idiots, right? And you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this particular scene where I think his name is. Can you tell me, recall his name? The,
Virus.
Virus.
the
Viru
virus. Right.
Saras, Viru
Viru
Saraswati.
Saraswati Buddhi.
Yes, Saras Buddhi. Okay, this is the Gujaratis know, this is our names. So he speaks about how amazing the pen is, and it's a very interesting conversation where the principal comes. He says that, do you know, this is a unique pen that was only invented to write in space. And there is this young boy, yes, Sonam Wangchuk, the original person, original hero of the movie, the catalyst for the movie was built in, Funsuk Wangru, as the movie says. And he says, sir, इतना आसान था तो आपने pencil क्यों नहीं use की? That's what he said, right? Why didn't you use a pencil when the pen was so difficult to write in space? Actually, the answer was very smart, very witty. But do you know there is a problem using a pencil in space? Anyone? He says in the end.
The graphite breaks.
Absolutely. So that's a wonderful thing. It's not easy when the lead, it's made of graphite. When that nib, whatever we call it, it breaks, it might poke us in our eyes, and it is not safe. Everything you see in space keeps hanging on, and this is the answer the principal gives. He says, whatever you said, you may be very witty, but gray hairs come at a cost, right? They are not this sunburned gray hairs. Pramila ma'am give an answer.
Go on.
Yes. So this is what he meant. And I think this is a premise we start our skill discussions with. This is a conversation we start our skill discussions with. This is the idea that no, when there is a reason to invent something, we invent. This is the only time I really boast about it. The movie was based on the life of one of my heroes, Sonam Wangchuk sir. I met him at IIT when I was moderating a conference, and we were flying back together. And I think this was the best time when I flew SpiceJet. It's always delayed. This is the only time I never complain. When SpiceJet delayed, when I travel with my wife, I complain. इतना ज़्यादा रहना उसके साथ है और 2 घंटा extra. But with Sonam sir, it was a dream come true. He is the one who inspired in part Golden Sparrow. And today he is on this climate fast in Ladakh. And I think if nothing, we should just be part of the Twitter group, the WhatsApp or the Insta group, and support the cause of what he's doing at the glaciers there. Going beyond, you see, the opposite of a problem would most likely be the correct solution. Somebody famous said that. And on the conversation of the pen, there is actually a space pen that he was speaking about. The 318 movie is a very well researched movie. The scooter was made in IIT Powai. You see, a lot of things that is shown in the movie are actual inventions there. The school in Ladakh really exists. So the space pen, what Pramila ma'am just said, that the pencil is an inappropriate tool to be used in space. So there was a scientist working with NASA. He actually worked on something called liquid nitrogen. And he said the space pen is such a unique pen with all the amazing things you see around. It can write at any angle on any surface in a vacuum, even underwater, and work in freezing temperatures. When you are asked to record something, your mobiles won't work, your tabs won't work, the pencils won't work, the space pen would work. And today, the entire conversation around SDG goal number 9 is appreciate the inventors in our schools, in our field, and encourage them. Today, while we speak a lot about entrepreneurship, we speak a lot of creativity, we are mostly very inclined towards humanities. Sometimes we don't speak enough about STEM in our school. And today, STEM has become STEAM. Is that right? What's the full form of STEAM, my friends? Go ahead. STEM as STEAM now. Actually, it is STREAM now. Anyone want to make an attempt? STEM, we all know. Science, technology, STEM, right? Engineering.
Engineering,
Yes.
medical.
So what
And
is
stream
STEAM?
is stream
Yes.
is science, technology, engineering, arts, and medical.
Absolutely. There's an art in that, there's a reading in that, there's a humanity in that. I usually use a word called HEAL. HEAL is humanities, environment, arts, and languages. We need to work on both. There's a book, by the way, if you can see my screen, if it's there's a book I'm reading, I'll probably share some called Excellent Sheep. It is an amazing book which says that if you are not miserable at Harvard, you're not at Harvard at all. It talks about the challenges, mental health challenges that students at these Ivy League colleges and our IIMs and IITs go through, just the pressure of being relevant. And somewhere we aren't doing enough for them. Anyway, this is the space pen. It has, it is an amazing invention. And what SDG 9 says is encourage invention. Do not look at all solutions just by one angle, a monotone. The famous quote that we always heard, right? Which says that when your only tool is a hammer, all your solutions would look like a nail. You want to just punch your way out, you just want to hit your way out, and sometimes that's not enough. So what do we do? We ask questions. Remember what Akansha ma'am I think just dropped in now, and all we do is we encourage good questions. It started with Pramila ma'am's session, remember, on what would be a good question. And I love the way she created and curated questions. And by the way, an average child asks 400 questions in a day. And most likely, an answer to those questions is no. I was reading a beautiful book on parenting which says that the way our children grow up is they ask a question and the answer they get is almost negative. Can we convert the negatives into a yes answer, a yes conversation? There is another beautiful quote which says the only people who will remember you working late in your offices, in your schools, at your workplace are not your bosses, not your managers, not your colleagues, are your kids. Your kids will remember every minute you spend extra when you were not with them. They deserve you. So, ask questions. And yes, absolutely, Akansha ma'am, most of the questions are not answered. And that is why they revert to Facebook and Instagram and they get wrong answers from anything, from puberty, from sex, from adolescence, from growing up, from questions about their careers. We do not give them answers. Anyway, my question is a very easy one. What would happen if there were no gravity? Go ahead, please attempt. And I'd love to hear some of you.
No life on Earth?
Very true, Darshana ma'am. Absolutely. इन्होंने बात ही खत्म कर दी. Question ही खत्म हो गया मेरा. There is no life on Earth. If there was no gravity, forget everything flying down. The Earth would collapse with the sun because the gravitational force is actually keeping us in balance with the axis, with the orbit, that rotation around, and it's so amazing. Everything. Just tell me a quick answer. What's the direction? Today it's all science, all right? Everybody, language, humanities, please, we are doing science today. Somewhere let me flex my engineering muscles. What's the direction of all the planets that swim around the sun? Clockwise or anti-clockwise?
Anti.
Anti-clockwise, right? Every single thing that revolves around is anti-clockwise. The only thing that's clockwise is
Moon.
the moon. It's anti-clockwise again. There are a couple of planets, by the way. The only thing that's relevant to us that is clockwise,
Earth, moon,
Earth,
sun.
definitely anti-clockwise. The only thing that we invented and which is clockwise is the clock, which is why we can never manage our time properly. If we were to follow the sun, we would be better on time. We don't do time management. All the time management workshops are really irrelevant. We do clock management. Think of it, what I just said. We all do clock management. We don't do time management. Anyway, so what does NASA do, by the way? A lot of times, remember we had this question last time. I think you, Darshana ma'am, answered it, and we had this debate. Is it worth NASA spending all this money sending people on Moon and Mars? And we went, Chandrayaan just went some time back. Mangalyaan is planning happening around now. Is it worth it, or are we just waiting? NASA should solve all the poverty problem, the epidemics we have on Earth. This is
Yeah,
the answer.
yeah,
Remember, we had this
correct.
conversation, ma'am, and what
Yes.
was the answer?
So I said that if you want to grow, there should be inventions and some money should be spent on them.
Fair enough. So now I will extend what Darshana ma'am said to the right inventions. NASA or Formula One, these things that look very expensive actually are responsible for a lot of cool inventions. Since we are talking about space today and we're educating ourselves, I'm a patent lawyer, a patent attorney. In patent, there's something called the spin-off. So you put your money and you do a lot of work in inventing one product, but actually a side product comes up and you sign a deal with the scientists. And I used to deal with the Russian scientists, and trust me, the most difficult people, except after vodkas, they're good people after that. But they would come back and they would tell us the kind of inventions they did by the spin-offs were more money making than the actual inventions, and that's what NASA has taught us. All the spacecraft and all the effort that we put on, the wonderful comfortable sleep that you have, the memory forms is thanks to NASA. So all of you who have, what is this, a curly, they have the amazing mattresses, right? I don't know how many of you use Sleepy Owl. Anyone uses Sleepy Owl mattresses? Wonderful mattresses. No, you don't have the Sleepy Owl? Please, I'll endorse it. It's a beautiful mattress, by the way. Memory foam pillows, memory foam in your car seats, memory foam in your airline seats, anywhere. These are NASA invention. Another invention that is very, very popular is the vacuum pack food. Today, the tin food, the tunas, the salads are so common, right? The space scientists actually were the reason why vacuum pack was invented. Amazing, isn't it? We don't think about it. The fireproof clothing, if you see the firemen, well, we have research, but NASA had to make sure that there is 0% error chance when you're flying to moon. You don't have backup. You don't take a U-turn on your Uber, right? They are the ones who invented the fireproof clothing, and not just the clothing part. The entire fireproofing industry is thanks to our space missions. Across now. There are four nations who are space giants, and India is one of them. Remember, I remember doing a session when I said the only time when India, when we landed on the Chandrayaan mission, India was shining brighter than the moon. And we are very proud of it. We are in the league of the elites, the US, the Russia, the Brazil, and we are one of them. So this is what we do when we spend money for ISRO. Appreciate it, because it is not just for the sake of showing the world we can land. There's so many. Oh, this is, you will love it. Teenagers will love it when I talk to them. Every single miniature cameras. The Polaroid was well invented much before the inverted image came in, but today all the miniature cameras are thanks to our NASA space mission. What will happen to all the influencers in the world if NASA was not there? Who will take the selfies? They would be left alone. What will our teenagers do? Why will they even live for? Remember? Why do you go on vacations? Pramila ma'am, why do you go on vacations? Please tell me.
To unwind, to recharge my batteries.
Absolutely no. You go on vacations to make others feel bad when you post photos on Instagram. That's the purpose of our existence, right? What will happen to us if we don't have those cameras with us? There's so many things. Soha ma'am is not there today. She's doing a parallel session, but solar power. Thanks to the NASA missions, these are all the inventions, and there's just so many of them. There are over 1,800 recorded NASA spin-offs. You learn a new word in technology. This is what we are teaching our kids. We are telling them, become astrophysicists, become space scientists, because this is goal number 9, innovation in daily life. Public safety, environment, healthcare, consumer good, information technology, so many areas is what NASA is making us good. Does it now make you friendlier, nicer towards a different goal today? Quick comments. What did you learn? Anything that you like in the little 20 minutes that we spend now? Go ahead. Let's open up the forum. Let's discuss.
NASA and its inventions.
Oh, lovely. Angela ma'am is ready to fly now. She said, Akola bahut ho gaya, now I'm going to NASA.
Planning to go to Israel this year.
Oh, lovely! One of the most amazing and most misunderstood countries in the world. You must travel.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks, Willie. Spin-offs, wonderful. I think your school is doing some amazing work. You know the events that you do, and he's doing some amazing progress out there. So we'll someday we'll love to have your session on AI that you do. So many work that we do, isn't it? Anyone else? Quick couple of more pointers.
So I've learned about innovations. There is everywhere some kind of big innovations, and we can make small business out of it.
So
Big
true.
business out of small innovations. Sorry.
Absolutely. Opportunities, as Kajal ma'am says, there are so many opportunities in innovation that we do. So let's take it further. A little more conversation around. Anyone want to add, please, pause and interrupt. And this is your session. It's a small group that we've got. Quick question. Most of you will recognize them, but still, who are they? Yeah, Akansha ma'am, go ahead.
No, not for this picture. I wanted to just add this. I learned that inventions also, the innovations, this can
Elon
happen
Musk
that
in
when
that
you're
picture.
planning for something bigger, but something different comes up. And that, of course, you take up that opportunity and you create something big out of it. So it's very much similar to the artwork also. We think of creating something and something else gets created, and then we are very happy with that as well.
Absolutely, and this happens mostly with my wife when she tries to say, "आज ये खाना मिलेगा और कुछ और ही मिलता है." But spin-offs are also nice, So this is wonderful. Yes, Akansha ma'am, you're so true. And yes, thank you for identifying these people, these gentlemen. They are very young. That's Elon Musk. Willie was first. Awatif ma'am gave an answer, and Jeff Bezos. What's common to them now? Besides being very successful entrepreneurs, besides doing some amazing work in the field of business, we remember our
They
topic
are risk
is
takers.
space. Yes, sir.
They are risk takers because whatever I have known of Elon Musk, this guy would have gone bankrupt. But he had the dare, he could dare to take that opportunity, and he had a mission and a vision that there is something out of this world he wanted to do. So he was on the verge of bankruptcy, but he
They
did
are
it. He
risk
split his
takers.
book.
They could have been bankrupt, as
Yeah,
Mansoor sir says, and out of the world. This started nothing, Willie says, and so true.
yeah.
They all have something common. Awataf ma'am, yes, they're innovators. They share common space. Yes. What space do they share? So I'm adding one more person. I'm sure you can identify him also.
Richard
Who is
Branson, Sir Richard Branson.
Richard Branson? Right, right. Richard Branson's autobiography, "Losing My Virginity," very interesting book. He has his Virgin Airlines. Yes, Virgin Galactic, Willie, that is where I was coming to. All three of them, because of the immense amount of money they have, they decided and they believe. See, one of the amazing things, all of us combined here, I mean, on an average age, we're all 30 plus here. Ask any one of us that do you think that in 20 years you'll go and stay on Mars? We honestly do not believe. I mean, I'm telling you the psychology of us. We just do not believe. We say it's wonderful program, karte. Hain." I asked these two real teenagers. Yes, Billy, there is so much. Kajal ma'am, they are all space travelers. Who would have thought these people actually believe? They believe that we inhabit Mars in 20 years from now. And so do the teenagers. If you think like a teenager, you are really young at heart. I've asked several girls and boys, young people, they really believe they can go. When they see a Matt Damon in Martian, they believe they will be the next Matt Damon. They will grow potatoes, they will grow vegetables in space. This is what they've done. So I think Willie wrote the answers to the company. SpaceX, that is Elon Musk company. Virgin Galactic is Sir Richard Branson's company. And which is the other guy, Jeff Bezos' company. What's his name? Akansha ma'am, I'll come to space tourism. Absolutely. Hopefully by the end, I'll give you some tickets to travel to space. Jeff Bezos, what company does he run? Blue Origin. Oh, lovely. Thank you so much, Billy. So Blue Origin is a company. So these are spacepreneurs. There's a word for that. Remember? So we thought of entrepreneurs. Today I give you a new vocabulary called spacepreneurs, and I'll have some quiz here. These people believe. I haven't seen any Indian take up so much, but maybe we have enough crisis. Last time when we spoke about Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, trust us, we have a long way to catch up when we do. We are talking about basic sanitation, which is also important. We got awarded as the best goalkeeper award. But space, yes, Amazon in space. Kajal ma'am is still thinking shopping. Who can take away shopping from a Gujarati? Look at that. कैसे मेरा ड्रोन से मेरा साड़ी आएगी, right? Gudi Parva is coming now. She's already thinking each she has to plan. Okay, Willie, thank you so much. Mahesh Murthy as Indian investors invested 5+ space startup. Thank you for correcting me. We are already there in space startups. Yes, we are doing some amazing work. A quick question for you. We all know the astronauts, right? This is what they do. They are the people sponsoring. And NASA being a government body, whatever you say, because of Elon Musk, because of SpaceX, NASA got funded. NASA was happy that Elon Musk is doing enough. I was speaking about online school. There must be enough voices because this is a new concept. The same thing goes to space travel. They are not competing; they are collaborating. Richard Branson is happy that there is an Elon Musk because they are competing to go faster, and that is how people are growing. A quick question: we all know about astronauts, right? Astronauts basically mean sailors in space. Now, an astronaut is an American word for a space traveler. Tell me, what would a Russian space traveler be called and an Indian space traveler be called? Go ahead.
Russian
Yes,
is cosmonaut.
fantastic, Pramila. Ma'am. Hats off. The cosmonaut. Give me an Indian version. I'll be proud if you can tell me the Indian version. We have spending. We are also on a space race now. You will love this word. It's a Sanskrit word. The origin is from Sanskrit. You will love the word. So cosmonaut, yes, we know we've seen enough of Cold War movies. We've seen enough of Star Trek. We know a cosmonaut. What's an Indian space astronaut here? Anyone? Make an attempt. Arya. I like the way from Arya Bhatta maybe. Good, good. You're thinking. I love the wrong answers because it makes that you are thinking. You're participating with me. Anyone? So cosmonaut is good.
Something like Indranath.
I like that answer, Indranath. Okay, I'll give you a hint. What is space? Space is nothing but blank space, right? Think of air. What's air in Sanskrit? Now you're getting it.
Vayu.
Vayu?
Lovely. Go ahead, make a knot around Vayu. That's your Indian astronaut. And there's a real word. I'm not making it up. It's a Vayu knot. And so, we are proud of our identities, and that's what we talk to our children. This is what we are talking about. So there's so much of information. I'll skip some of the information. The idea is now, how does an astronaut brush? How does an astronaut eat? This is what we do. An astronaut has to learn Russian. So interesting, right? Because the only space station on board is a Russian space station. This is interesting, isn't it? Why you not? I like that. ISS is a Russia. I did go to Russia. The only Russian I know now is Niet and Da. It's a tough language to learn. They also need to learn how to scuba dive. Not surprising. When James Cameron made the movie Titanic, he said the only reason I made Titanic because I love underwater exploration and nobody was funding it. So I made a small movie called Titanic so I could underwater explore. Yes, they could, because this is what they want to do. They want to go around. My favorite part of the movie is, which is more expensive, a space suit or a Thor's or the Thanos suit out there? A space suit.
Obviously, a spacesuit.
A space suit. How? Just give an average guess. How much would a space suit cost?
Well, I don't know about the cost, but it is the pinnacle of innovation.
Okay, it's an amazing innovation. Yes, Willie says 3 million. I don't know if they say it's close to 12 crore, 12 CR. It's still less than Anand Ambani's watch, but it's still a lot of money there, right? All of us who followed the Radhika Anand pre-wedding bash, the watch, how much it cost then. So Willie says it's 1.5 million. I accept that. But a space suit. So this is, it's close to 1.2 crore. Did I sell 12 crores? I take back my words. It's 1.5 crores. That's okay. Zara's and Gucci's can help us. But what does an astronaut wear? So I'll quickly see if I can show you some part of the astronaut out there. If they pop up. They have a camera they use to send pictures back on Earth, and these are all NASA inventions. So this is the same camera that our digital phones use. They have gloves, not an ordinary glove, sticky gloves. They can hold things, glass areas, display, and a control module that also displays temperature around. They have got these space suits. You can breathable suits. They have a radio to have talking to Houston, we have a problem. primary life support, that is oxygen on the back. Water is also in the module. There's a helmet with a visor to protect them from the rays of the sun. You're very close. If you're going further, you're every single aspect is calculated. It's amazing, right? Astronauts, for them to sleep, they need a tether, like a womb, like an umbilical cord of a mother, because you may fly away. I have some amazing videos I'll share in the group about astronaut brushing their teeth. This is how powerful, how amazing it is. And this, for them to, eating and drinking is an easier thing. Pooping is a difficult problem. I mean, I'm sorry, ladies out there, but they need to poop and make sure the poop is not around everywhere. It is in specifically vacuum plastic bags. I mean, the only time I took so much care was when I was wearing my diapers. But this is the world we live in. It's so amazing. If you're interested in space, there's a world out there, and there's some amazing movies out there. And these movies do research. Interstellar costs more than us sending a Chandrayaan on moon. I repeat what I'm talking about. Interstellar costs more than India sending a Chandrayaan on moon. Isn't it amazing? This is what we do. There is zero gravity. There is an exercise. They need to work. The two toughest professions in the world is being a Formula One driver and an astronaut. The two toughest profession is a Formula One driver and an astronaut. A Formula One driver has neck muscles recorded. Because the moment you strain your neck by driving this car at 400 mph, you will lose sight and you will break your neck. This is how amazing it is. So, well, how do astronauts brush their teeth and go to toilet? So go ahead. Do you want me to share a video? I'll share it in the group. I'll not take up, we'll have a lot of conversations around. But there is this beautiful video of not Kamala, Kalpana Chawla, who tragically passed away, Sunita Williams. Sunita Williams has a video. There's another Russian lady who show how do they brush their teeth. And these are these, you are not using your tube and all. They are these chewable tablets you do, and you swallow it. You don't gulp it outside. It looks very gross, I'm sorry, but you swallow it because there is no place to throw it outside. Very, very interesting concept across. My last slide before we go to the conversation around in this is what's common between them. Maybe I'll try and play a video before. What's common between them? Yeah, Kajal ma'am in deep thinking mode. Go ahead. I think Akansha ma'am or Darshana ma'am, one of you just mentioned something about space tourism. So try it out. No one? Make an attempt. A wrong one answer is better than no answer. Okay. So Dolly is the first cloned sheep. Nothing to do with, right? Nothing to do with space. That's fine. That's Dolly, the first cloned sheep. What about the other two? There's this dog. I don't know how many of you read in your school geography classes about the first dog in space? Anyone, any
Oh,
idea?
yeah. Yeah. There was a chapter on a dog reaching to the space first time.
Thank you so much. So many things that we relate to when we read in school. How many of you read about Bhagra Nangal Dam in Andhra Pradesh or Odisha? What is Odisha? All of Hirakud Dam. We have learned about information we will never ever use in our life. Mitosis, the part of the flower that is stigma and stimulus. And I told that to my wife and she threw my flower away. None of them helped me in dating any girls in my college life. Right? We teach so much redundant stuff in our school. So I thought I'll pull some of them. Right? This is Laika, the first space dog. And this man is Dennis Tito, the first tourist in space. The first tourist in space. And this looks very absurd, very weird, very unknown. In 20 years from now, it would be as common as perhaps going from Mumbai to Pune. Maybe, Mumbai to Borivali or Kandivali, Pramila, at your home, but that's the world we're living in. We start to believe. Isn't that a song? What is that? Coldplay has a song, Believe. And this is what the world is doing. Today, our SDG goal is all about innovation. We need to innovate. We need to encourage innovators. Few weeks back, we had this amazing session by Soha ma'am on solar panel and solar energy. This is an introduction of what SDG can do. In conclusion, this is all of you skill ambassadors. That's what we're trying to do, right? We've been speaking a lot about creativity, a lot of life skills. What we ultimately want to do is these are curated books. Some of you have it, some of you I spoke about individually. We always ask, what's the ultimate purpose of being a skill ambassador? One is, of course, we are all getting Skill India certification. So you will upskill yourself, post on LinkedIn. And then this is a curriculum we've created with, I was incubating at IIT Delhi, and these program, it's a series of these many books from grade 1 to grade 8. Right now we only have grade 1 to grade 8. They follow the rainbow, the Indradhanush philosophy. So grade 1 is violet, grade 2 is indigo, and then each book is very much ABL, activity based learning, and each chapter talks about something creative in terms of an SDG goal and a life skill. For example, I'll just show you one activity from this current book. This is how a book will look like. So there's an SDG goal number 13, which talks about climate action. And we are talking about an alien from Saturn. And we'll play this game as we end this session. So Ajuba is an alien living on Saturn. She has no friends. Saturn is a very, very cold planet. Now, quickly, what we do is, because this is book two, it's a book indigo. You see the blue lines out there. What do we do is we are going to invite Ajuba to Earth. And we believe in that. What do we know about Saturn so we can invite Ajuba on Earth? So go ahead. Tell me three facts about Saturn together. Anyone? Pramila, what's the acronym we learn to learn about the different planets?
My very educated mother just showed us 9 planets. But now
All right,
Pluto
thank
is
you.
gone. Now Pluto is
Okay.
gone, so it has to be revised.
So we still tell the 9 planets, but we put Pluto in a dwarf planet, isn't that?
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right. So now from my very educated mother, Saturn is at number 6 now. Because Saturn is at number 6, what kind of planet would it be? Would it be a cold planet or a hot planet? It's a
Cold
cold
planet.
planet. Fantastic, right? What is another unique thing about a planet? Okay, which is the only planet that's married? Anyone?
So it's
Which?
it has ring surrounded by it, right? So they
Okay,
are
yes.
married.
So it has rings around it. Race का तो पता नहीं. शादी के बाद race दिखते नहीं, but ring तो है. So it's the only planet with rings around. You just pop in a question, you make a child, at least a child will not forget it. That's the conversation. Each book comes with an audio companion. So you use an audio companion to talk about a planet. The idea is you decode a planet, how far it is, why it is cold, why does it have ring. Saturn has moons, by the way. And remember, we spoke about Thanos. If anybody is an Avenger fan, Thanos lives in Titan, which is one of the moons of Saturn. I mean, this is all pulp fiction out there, but there's so many things we do around a conversation with this curriculum. So what we do as skill ambassadors is, there is a postcard. You write a letter to Ajuba inviting her, and then I had a session with the kids. I said, Saturn do not have beaches. Invite Ajuba to play with friends on a beach. It's a nice warm beach here. But the idea is, can we take this conversations to schools? Today, most of our schools do not know about SDG. Very few schools speak about SDG. And we need to convey this and have the conversations around. That's what skill ambassadors are doing. So tomorrow, school signs up in Pune. I know there's a skill ambassador in Pune who's going to go there. Hopefully, we'll go and reach out to schools in Hyderabad, in Delhi, in Bombay, and the consortium of schools. We will do an SDG quiz. That's the planner. And on 26th of April, which is this month, we are doing an SDG conclave where most of you will be felicitated, you'll be invited, and we have some great school leaders coming in. And this would be at Goregaon, and I'll share the information with all of you. That's all that we have from our goal number 9. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had fun around it. Let's open the floor for conversation, questions, or inputs what you learned today. That's all. Thank you so much.
I have a question.
Please, ma'am. No, we are not giving free tickets to space, Pramila, ma'am.
No. I'm not taking a free ticket because by the time the trip comes through, I may not be around. Anyway,
No. God bless you with long, long health and good life.
now my question is: we are talking about space. We are talking about something which is advanced technologically. Why are we dealing with the postcard?
Oh, wonderful. I lose here. I have no idea. We'll send an email or maybe an Instagram DM. Completely at loss of words, ma'am. No idea.
Ma'am, because we have to put the legacy also, that students should not forget that what was there
in the
Um,
ancient time, how we used to
no, no, no.
communicate.
My question came from a real life experience in a school.
Hmm.
The postal department came to us saying that the children should write something in the postcard. We had to push them and push them. If I were to ask them to make a blog, they would have done it. If
So
I were,
true.
because they are all children with technology. Now we can tell them this existed, this is what your grandparents used, this is what your parents used, but you have moved on. Do we use a chula now to cook? We don't. We have
Very
moved on.
interesting. I like what you said.
So
This
children
is
have not seen postcards, so we'll show it to them, but they don't need to use it.
No, this is so true. I think Kajal ma'am had something to add to it that there's a lot of issue with residual income space. Elaborate, ma'am, if I don't understand that. But yes, they have not seen a postcard. For that matter, they have not seen a floppy disk or a CD. But by the way, on an interesting conversation, maybe we should also do a coded message. NASA has actually sent a couple of things in space which is still floating, hoping that in some light years away, an alien will find it and they'll decode it. In that there is a Elvis Presley CD.
Oh,
If I'm
I need to
yes,
go.
so they said that hopefully they will listen to Elvis Presley and they'll come to Earth as friends and not foes. They also have some tribal voices. They have voice of water gushing through. They have sound. It's an amazing experiment, which is why it looks very funny. Why would you send a sound there? And they say somebody will decode and understand what civilization on Earth looks like. Perhaps by the time they come, all of this may not even exist. An elephant trumpet may not exist because elephants will be endangered. This is what we're talking about. So lovely conversation, and yes, it's very interesting when you open up a forum and critical thinking comes from you. Kachal ma'am, would you want to explain what you just shared? Very nice. Okay, we'll take any other comments, any other suggestions. We are done for the day. It's fun to have all of you and have a really. It is nice to see you. If you're still around, pop in with a hello to everyone. So, okay, I see a lot of people around. Any other comments, any other suggestion before wind up? Interesting. Did anything that one takeaway, Mansoor sir? Just one takeaway from today's session.
Certainly, and like you mentioned about astronaut being a tough profession than the Formula One drivers. So we can't forget the pilots who fight to take off that fighter plane because like
Fighter
it
planes.
adds up to 10 times your own body weight when you're flying the fighter jets, so 10 times, right? You are sitting in a position, you feel your body weight. So when the pilots they take off, they feel 10 times their own body weight, so that's a very challenging task. With regards to Jeff Bezos, he said it once he was in India, I think that was last year, that with Amazon, we did n number of business, everything failed, only Amazon worked out, so it's a matter of keep trying. Failures will be there, so that would be your stepping stones towards your success. So really, I appreciate that person for his honesty that he admitted that we failed, but the only thing that worked was Amazon, which we are so used to in our daily lives. And last but not least, Richard Branson. Beautiful quote from him. Maybe someday, if I become an entrepreneur, I'll be doing it. I'll be following up very sincerely. He says that my job is to take care of my staff, and they will take care of the customers. That's the success of Virgin as a company. So that's my
Wonderful,
that's
sir.
my add-on to it. Thanks a lot. As always, enjoy being part of the session.
That's so
God
true.
bless you
Thank
all.
you so much, sir. Lovely quotes from everybody. And Kajal ma'am, you sum it all that there's always an opportunity to learn and invent. And I think we end with this one request. Please go and ask your kids, your family, what an Indian astronaut is called. Let's learn something new. Let's spread some good, wonderful thing. It'll be nice to know how much they don't know about. Okay, let's boast a little. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so
Thank
much for being part of it. Yes, Pramila ma'am.
you. I just said thank you.
No, no, thank you for being there. Hopefully, we'll see again with a ninth session and we'll meet each one of you on 26th.
Sure.
I'll be giving the
Sir,
details.
sir, sir,
Yes,
sir,
please,
sir.
please, ma'am.
Right. Sir, you talked about taking SDGs to all the metro cities, and I must share last week's experience because some of the teachers from different schools of Apola they called up and They were in a fix that their principals have told them that they have to prepare the new curriculum. They have to write their diaries as per NEP, as per usage of 21st century skills and SDGs to be included into it. And they were in a fix because they never had any sessions. And they were saying that, ma'am, we don't know which activities to put where, because all the activities which they had done, especially in pre-primary, their principals, two principals outrightly said, this has been done in Falana school and in that school and that school. Please do not bring the old ones. So they were like, what to do?
So
And they, I,
request
Yeah,
the
yeah.
principal to take a session. After that, the principal will
So
yeah.
move
true.
on.
Yeah,
So
Angela,
two,
just adding
so
on.
two, two
Yes.
principals I talked to today, and I told them that, sir, since December I was after your life, that you called me and I was ready to come at free of cost. I was not going to charge anything from Akola. I decided that. You never called me. You did not even give them a free session. And now, if your teachers are struggling and you're trying to play the game with them, you know, the blame game, they're playing blame games now. So I said, if you're doing this, your teachers will leave. And sadly, today, five teachers left from one school at one time.
No, this is really sad. And Angela, ma'am, this is the opportunity. What we're honestly trying to do with all the effort we're putting in is, and you're right, not just metros. I see so much of new India growing up in Nagpur, in Akola, in Surat, which is, these are big cities, by the way. But there is an
Yes.
effort we need to make. And for sure,
Yes.
after, perhaps after in May and all, we will plan these trips.
Right,
You
sir.
can
Right,
ask us, we'll travel and we'll do these road shows and hopefully some good
right,
news.
sir.
I'm working with a bank to do some sponsored road shows across India. Let's see if
Right,
they come
sir.
up with an SDG quiz. We will do it. And Angela, ma'am, your point
All
is
right, sir.
perfect.
Right, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, and this is wonderful.
Thank you,
Yeah.
everyone. God bless you all.
Bye bye,
And
everyone.
Bye.
we
Bye.
supposedly had to have the short session, huh? So almost time we took the actual time.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
yeah.
we make sure that we promise everybody an hour and we close. It's always nice to close 5 minutes early. So bye bye, everybody. Now.
Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye, everyone.
Bye.